Westworld is back and so good. And luckily the showrunners for Westworld, Lisa Joy and Jonathan Nolan, did an interview and told us what to expect for season 3. It's gonna be crazy. First, if you're hoping for a season 4 of Westworld, you should know that HBO is saying they're going to see how season 3 goes before they order another season. And even if they do, Westworld, a complete season takes about 18 to 20 months to produce, so you're probably looking 2022 for a season 4 if we get one. Okay, so season 3 takes place in 2058. We know that. We're mostly seeing Los Angeles, though of course we've seen some other places around the world. Some of us, cough me, wanted to stay in the Westworld park longer, but we were told by the showrunners why they wanted to branch out into the real world. So according to the showrunners, they wanted to show us the rules of the hosts and how they work before pushing them into the real world, and that was their goal the entire time, to give us a basis of the hosts and the artificial intelligence, and then introduce to the real world, which they purposely gave us minimal looks at. And by the way, speaking of the real world, the one thing the showrunners said they're thankful for in season 3 is they don't have to work with horses as much, which they absolutely miss, because apparently motorcycles don't ruin a take by just pissing everywhere. And you may have known, if you were following all of the leaks for filming, that they did most of it in Singapore, and that's just because they couldn't use LA for LA, because unfortunately LA doesn't look that futuristic, and if you've gone to Singapore, you realize it looks a couple decades in the future to what we're used to in the United States. I'm not saying you're from the United States, I'm just saying the majority of my subscribers are. If you are not, hey, how's it going? Dinner later tonight? If you're worried about there being a lot of time jumps in season 3, the showrunners did assure us it is going to be more linear. They're not going to jump around as much as they did in season 2. I know there was a huge backlash with that. Honestly, I'm one of those people that did not like how much they were jumping around in season 2. Season 1, the twist was awesome. Just, I loved the time twist. In season 2, it was a bit too much, and the showrunner said they didn't make season 3 more linear because of the complaints. They didn't try to dumb it down or anything. It's just how they wanted to tell the story in season 3. Basically, they wanted to create a completely different show based off of characters that they had already introduced to us in season 1 and season 2. Take those beloved characters and put them in a different environment. Also, in case you're wondering, HBO is giving them a lot of breathing room, and apparently the showrunners can do whatever they want within reason. HBO's like, yeah, go for it. So while it's nice that HBO trusts their showrunners, on the other hand, sometimes they trust their showrunners a bit too much. I'm definitely not making a snide comment about another HBO show. No shade. I would never. This season's central idea, according to the showrunners, is algorithmic determinism, so basically how much is programmed into you. And obviously we saw that in the first episode with the temperamental businessman, where Dolores said, I read your book. I know you're gonna try to hurt me. I'm gonna give you a chance. But this is your programming, this is who you are. And so this season, and you can argue every season is about it, but their central idea is about that. How much is anything programmed? And you definitely know, those of us that are in genetics, evolutionary biology and all that there is a lot of things that are programmed in humans to work a certain way. So there's always that argument. And then even if you don't want to go hard sciences, of course we have philosophy majors, which have friends that are philosophy majors. You guys drive me up the fucking wall. Because you look at things completely different than I do, because I'm a scientist. I like hard fucking facts. And you guys are like, what if your facts don't matter? And I'm like, stop it! You're scaring me! By the way, they also said some central ideas for season 3 as they're using it to address selfhood, free will, and biochemistry. So again, the algorithm, what is determined by it. Which, interestingly, Joy, one of the showrunners, had something to say on that, sharing. So you have the Greeks, right? When they talk about free will in a hero's journey, they are attributing exterior factors to gods. But the gods are doing very concrete things to influence the fate of humans. The fate themselves are weavers. They know what to snip. They know what to weave. In Westworld, in the earlier seasons, the gods are these tech people who are putting the host in these different loops. And now when you look outside the park, I think everyone has delusions of grandeur, of agency, free will, yada, yada, yada. And maybe they're not delusions. That's part of the inquiry that I think we're excited about this season. But it is undeniable that one's choices are strongly influenced by exterior factors. But now, the strings of the fates are further and further away from your eyes. You can't see their hands moving anymore, so you don't understand what's being tugged. Which, going to the first episode we saw with Caleb, that character, waking up every morning, just like we saw Dolores waking up at the beginning of her loop every day. So, humans, real humans, I have to keep doing quotations, in the real world, are we all on a loop? How different are we from the hosts? We just can't see the people that pull our strings, or the things that do, which may not be God or this giant thing in the sky. Not mocking you if you are religious. My family's Catholic. I totally get it. But it might be something on a microscopic level, a cellular level, that is pulling the strings and controlling you. And I really like the idea of delving into those ideas. The showrunners also talked about Rico, which you know is basically the Uber app of crime, which I thought was absolutely hilarious, and why that was a thing in this world. And apparently Nolan is obsessed with blockchain technology and thinks that this is the future that's coming and it's gonna change everything and people aren't ready for it. So Nolan is obsessed with blockchain technology and wanted Rico as a parody of the algorithmic gig economy drawn to an extreme. And he was hoping that got across, which I think it did. Lastly, and this is the most important thing I can tell you, the showrunners, who are married by the way, they own some Roombas. And they are sure that one night, they're going to asphyxiate them in their sleep. We all know it's gonna happen. Alright, so that is what the showrunners had to say about Westworld. I'm super excited because we saw another glimpse into a Westworld park, which is Medieval Park. I really want to see it. I like medieval stuff. I know people that follow this channel know that I am a sucker for medieval fantasy type periods. So the fact that we're going to see that has me really excited. I don't know how much we're going to see it. Honestly, we've only gotten some promo images of the medieval park. If we could spend some time in it though, I'd love it. I'd actually love that more than the war world that we saw Maven. Medieval? Fuck yeah. Alright, so that's what I want to talk about with Westworld. Like, subscribe, and let me know what you think about this in the comment section down below. Also, what do you think about the big ideas of season 3? I asked this question in my episode 1 review. What do you think are going to be the big twists for season 3? I would love for Caleb to be a cyborg. So he did kind of die, but they had to replace parts of him to keep him alive, and part of his program that they have him in is dealing with the death of his friend, that maybe they couldn't save him. It was too late, but they were able to save Caleb. I don't know. I have a lot of crazy theories about season 3, but I also love tinfoil, so if you go down that rabbit hole with me, it's gonna get intense. So let me know your crazy tinfoil theories as well, because that helps me not feel like a fucking nut job, which I obviously am. Please don't tell anyone. It's just between